Social media is huge. You just never know. There's tons of groups out there. There's meetups out there. There's a lot of places that you don't have to show up personally. You can just spend a few minutes posting here or there. LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, all of it, and just interact. I mean, it's a networking game. This is a contact sport, right? Real estate is a contact sport. You got to deal with people. You got to make contacts, and you need to keep track of those contacts. Specifically for you and anybody looking for land, speed to lead. If you're putting a message out there and you're putting marketing out there and somebody reaches out to you, be on them immediately, because you're not the only one, right? So make sure that you speed the lead. And here's the other thing too. This is probably the most valuable takeaway. But whenever you're talking to a seller or anybody about property, the last thing you always want to ask them is, do you have any other property you'd like to sell? Or do you know anybody that has any other property they'd like to sell? You'd be amazed at what comes up after that. Like somebody's just talking to you about one piece. And I've had this happen to me over and over. Well, do you have any other property you'd like to sell? Oh yeah, I got 100 acres over here. I got this over there. And you're just like, what? So a lot of times we assume, and this is where I always go to asking deeper questions, right? So we always assume that when we ask somebody something, they're going to give us all the information. They're not. And you've heard the saying, we got two ears and one mouth for a reason. When you're asking somebody a question, if something, that's a big one to end the conversation with. Do you have any other property you'd like to sell? Or do you know anybody that has any other property they'd like to sell? And then when you're talking to people in general and you're asking them questions, and if they say something and you're not quite sure what they said, tell me more about that. Well, why did you do this? Well, why do you look in that market? Why did you decide to build that? How did you get that approved? What was it about that property? So always ask deeper questions and always be interested and listen, and you'll be amazed at how much information people will give you that you didn't even think about asking.